Everybody, welcome to Leon's Chainsaw Parts and Repair. What the hell happened here? So, my intention for this weekend, this Saturday, happy Saturday everybody, had been to go up the hill and put the head on the old tractor, but I decided I would do something else that I've been needing to do, which is go see Dozerdude1's wife. You guys been on the channel for more than the last couple months know that he passed away back around Thanksgiving, and I don't remember when I put the video up kind of talking about that, but his wife is ready to start going through and getting rid of some of the stuff that was accumulated, and it's a lot. I mean, it's a lot. Jim bought out a hell of a lot of different shops from, I think, from about 2000 all the way up into 2018, I would say. So basically, not quite 20 years, maybe 20 years, doesn't really matter, no. Long and the short of it is we have oodles and oodles of saws and carcasses and parts and junk to go through. And thankfully his son knows the stuff that I don't know. The Homelight, the McCulloch, Pioneer, that stuff I'm pretty good with. Husqvarna and steel, I ain't worth a diddly crap. Thankfully he is. So we kind of got a plan there. We're going to be going through stuff. Most of the way Jim operated, if it was a quick mover, high demand, and it was steel or Husqvarna, most of that stuff ended up on his eBay page pretty quickly. He'd go after that stuff and clear it out, and usually what was left behind was a slower move. So yeah, I don't want to go crazy with this, but if there's something, and again, I'm just taking wild guesses here, that a lot of the saws and carcasses, and when I say carcass, it may just be a handle, a flywheel, and a crankcase, that Husqvarna assembly or steel assembly, because the top end may have been roached and the carb's gone and the top cover's gone and the main handle's gone and all of that. But if there's something that would have been produced in the late 80s up through the mid to late 90s that you're really looking for, send me an email and I'll try to keep that in mind as we go through stuff. And again, I'll need his son's help to help identify a lot of it. I will say that I saw some carcasses of Husky 81s, Steel 460. There was another steel model up there. I don't remember what it was. I think there might be some 056 stuff. But again, we're talking bad shape, torn down. This is literally carcass rigs that were thrown in the bone pile of saw shops that Jim would have then gotten and in his buyouts. So if there's something like that you're looking for, send me an email. Don't drop it in the messages here. You'll never hear from me again. Send me an email. I will make a list. It'll probably be a good solid month, maybe 6 weeks before we really dig into it deep. We just kind of had the kickoff today, and that's what all of this junk is. So, like I say, send an email if you're looking for anything in that rough range, and I'll see what I can find. No promises whatsoever. But if it's there and it can go to good use, I think everybody would prefer that. So, all right, let's get into this. The Double Eagle 80 is one that I worked on for Jim. If you go way back in my channel, I want to say to 2015. There's a video on this. There might be two. I should have reviewed those videos before doing this, but I'm certain this is the saw that was found in a squirrel den. Okay, it was stored in a barn. It was never used hardly at all. You guys can see that. But where it was sitting, a squirrel had kicked crap all over it. So I cleaned it up. I won't say that I don't think I had to take it all the way down. If I remember right, it needed hoses and a carb kit, and I just kind of cleaned it up, in that method. So my task with this is to put some fuel in it, make sure that it's still a runner. I'm virtually certain I ran it dry for Jim before giving it back to him. So I'm just going to verify that she still runs. And what he wanted done with this is he wanted his wife to sell it. So it's going to go up on the Dozerdude1 eBay page at some point. The intention is to go through and find a couple bars that fit this, you know, a 20 and a 24, or a 24 and a 28, whatever. That's what his son, what we talked about today. So if somebody's ultra interested in this one, ultra interested, again, send me an email and I will pass it on to his family. If I can facilitate a sale of it, I don't think they would be upset with that at all. Like I say, I do need to get it running. Yeah, Jim had an idea on price on this, and I'm not going to give that away because that's not my place to do. But if you're interested in this, email me and I'll connect you with the right folks so that yeah, this can get sold. That was exactly what he wanted done. It's clean. There might be a little paint fade. I can never tell with these new McCullochs, newer ones. This doesn't have any of the gray accents. To me, that the paint is consistent though, inside and out. I mean, what I can see visible here, it's all got that same sheen of yellow. So I don't think even on the inside of the, yeah, even on the inside of the chain brake cover, it's the same shade. So good, clean, double Eagle 80. I don't think it's going to take me anything to get that running. The 2000 automatic, again, I don't know why I failed to do it, but I didn't do a video after the painting. You go back to 2016 and you'll get a video of the test run. And I wish I could remember all the details of this, but I can't. And there's some imperfections in the paint here that I can't tell if something got on it in various spots or if something in my paint prep failed, which leads me to believe that this doesn't have the Spray Max Clear on it, because I have never had a problem with that. But there's certain areas that just, there's a little bit of something going on. It's not bad, still in remarkably good shape. I looked at the video and some of the problems we never dealt with. And I don't remember those conversations with Jim, to be perfectly honest, but obviously he didn't mind that we had the brake in the cover here. There's the piece missing. There was a question about whether this was going to get welded. The tabs were disconnected. And I can see the weld mark there. So we did weld the tangs on the drive or cylinder cover there. Doesn't have a model tag. So I don't know if we had to swap the housing out. I don't think so, because there's one broken fin up here. But yeah, I never expected this saw to be back in my possession, but it is. That was what Jim's son said he wanted done with it. So this will go into my collection. The one I've had for years that needs a restoration hasn't gotten done, so I think I'll clean this one up and use the pics of it. I'm not going to sell the other one. That's not at all my intention at this point, but this one's staying here. So this is one of my very early restorations. This may only be the second saw that I painted, to be perfectly honest. It may be. I'm not honestly sure. Going through stuff. On Jim's bench was one of these. God knows which saw shop this came from. And honestly, God knows what year. Yuck. Man, everything's filthy. What year this is. So some of the chains are the 91S low profile. So it's not the 91V. We've got some 325 extra guard that's a semi-chisel. We've got some 3/8 speed guard, which is some semi-chisel. And then the S70, which is God, that looks like just a regular chipper. Then you get into the Super Guard and the Super 70, and it all looks like it's square chisel. It is. or excuse me, this is round chisel, and then this is square ground chisel in 3/8. Same thing with this DuraPro, and I don't know, again, looking at the chain, I don't see the differences. So I have no idea what the DuraPro line of chain is. Again, SuperGuard 72 CK. I have no idea what the CK is. That is a square ground. You get down into the 404 stuff. You got some micro chisel. The super chisel piece is missing. I have no idea why. You can clearly see the rivets were drilled out at some point. And then there's even this some harvester stuff. 404, 63, and 80 gauge harvester chain, and this big ass 3/4 122 harvester. I mean, take a look at that stuff. It's pretty wild. So this was distributed by Scotsco. So I don't know. I have no idea what years this would have been out. I'm going to guess it was in the 90s. Somebody knows. Cool. It's going to go in the shop. It'll be a nice, just nice display item. So I'm happy to have that. Ended up with an extra piece of that 3/4 harvester chain as well. I don't know. Necklace? Yeah, probably not. Not my style. Not my style at all. We'll get to the box in a second. The tote is just your average run-of-the-mill bunch of stuff. So when I would go see Jim, this was the kind of shit that he would roll out. And the way he could look at Husqvarna and steel and identify stuff, I could look at this and identify it. And you guys probably can too. There's a lot of Super XL stuff in here. And that's all, other than got some ignition stuff from a 925. And the bagged up is an XL 102 automatic. And I can't tell, I didn't break the bag open. I can't tell why it was taken apart. I'll have to get a closer look at the piston and cylinder. Jim was not one for selling runners or trying to make them runners outside of his own collection because he didn't want the liability of it. The way eBay was going, it was just too much of a pain in the neck for him. So a lot of saws that could have been made runners were broken down for parts, and you know that kept a lot of other saws running. So that's kind of, that little mess is one of my tasks for today. I'm going to try and go through all that and strip the parts that are worth it, get rid of the rest, and yeah, I don't have room to be making a big mess around here. Now the box. What's that? Well, that is part of my latest obsession, and I am failing miserably to get this camera, there we go, to tilt properly. There we are. So I watched this particular saw on eBay for, about a month, maybe a month and a half, and I watched the price slowly come down, and slowly come down, and slowly come down. And a little bit more, and a little bit more. And it finally got to a point where I went, dummy, you're going to miss out on this, and you're going to be pissed off if you didn't pull the trigger. So maybe I pulled the trigger too soon. I don't know. Truth be told, I don't care. Wow. Oh, it's got foam. Oh, boy. This is going to be interesting unboxing. She's glued shut. Boy, I hope the saw is good and protected. I'm not going to be able to reuse that box. Holy crap. I've had some good packaged saws come in, but this one might take the cake. Oops. Dummy. Oh, wow. What the? I don't want to have to rip. Ooh. I don't want to be finding stinking chunks of styrofoam out here. for the next 2 months. Nor do I want to lacerate myself trying to get into a freaking box. My God. I knew that was going to happen. Son of a gun. Am I opening it? Yeah, I'm opening it on the right side. God, I hope none of that shit got on the saw. Oh, it did. Now I hope there was enough oil on the saw that it didn't stick. Oh, this is crazy. Oh, okay. That was fun. That whole box is going to have to go in the garbage can. Whew. Must need a cold beer after that. Well, there she is, folks. You can see 655 pics online showed a boost port. So this is a 655 BP. Yeah, I pulled the trigger. I did it. So, what was it? It was that 405 video where there were several people that said, hey, if you like that, boy, you really need to run one of these boost port 655s. So I'm gonna. Now, some stuff I didn't see online in the pictures. Some paint staining here. I'm gonna hope that I can buff that out. I suspect I can, but there's some kind of greenish whatever there. I'm going to hope it's overspray and not an actual defect in the paint, but I'm seeing it in various places. We'll see. Cleanup needed. Whatever. That's the hazard of the job. We've got a nice new full wrap handle that's going to go on it. Yeah. Video of it running. That must be pushed in. It was. Oh yeah. Oh, it's got good compression. That's going to be a fun one. So I know it runs. I shouldn't have to do anything to this. Looking at the fuel hose. That hasn't been replaced. I may have to do a few things. I may want to do a few things. The only disappointment for me, and you guys that have been on the channel for a while will know exactly what I'm going to say. It's this replacement chain brake that it's not the proper orange. I will keep my eyes peeled for one. I have no problem transferring the guts out of this one for the chain brake. I'm a chain brake guy. I don't need them. I like saws that had it as an option. I like to have that option just for the scarcity because so many people tore them apart and threw them away. So anyhow, complete in there. I'll do a separate video on this. And I think that's where I'll end this video. Because, yeah, why not? Why not? So that's the goal for the summer. We get through the 4th of July. And a few weeks, probably towards the end of July, I'll get a hold of Jim's son again. And we'll start really seriously going through the stuff over there and pitching. There's a lot that needs to be pitched. That's the true. Hell, someday when I go, a lot of my stuff's going to get pitched. That's just the nature of life. So, we'll start on that, and we'll see what we can drag out that'll be of some use to people, and what just has to go away. So, anyhow, that's what I'm working on Saturday, is cleaning this and that blue tote apart. So, hope you all have a great weekend. We'll catch you on the next one.